Bandidos, buenos dias. How is everyone? Welcome to Mel's Magic episode 7. And today is November 27th. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate that day. And today's topic, I'd like to talk to you about two topics. And this time, my reflections came about or were spurred or inspired by something I heard on the radio, and I couldn't quite catch who said it. But it was something along the lines of the tragedy is not what happens to us, but what we fail to comprehend or make out of it. So it kind of caught my attention, and I tried to look up that quote, to find the author. And I came across two similar quotes, which go in two different directions, maybe, but overall have the same meaning. So I found the tragedy is not that things are broken, the tragedy is that things are not mended again. And this was a quote by Alan Paton in his book Cry, the Beloved Country. And it made me think, this quote, the fact that, okay, it's the tragedy is not what happens to us or that things are broken. It reminded me of something somebody once told to me, and it was that the wings of tragedy spare nobody, meaning that we all go through suffering in our lives. We're all struck by either some kind of tragedy or loss or pain. It's inevitable. It's part of the human condition. So it's not like the actual thing that happens to us is bad, but what we make of it, that's within our power. No, so sometimes we're not in control of what happens to us, but we are in control of how we respond or how we transmute the tragedy or the pain or the loss. And yeah, it's sad when we don't mend things again, or when we don't try to mend things again. This made me think of the Japanese art of kintsugi. Have you heard about it? It's the Japanese art of fixing broken pottery with gold, with the idea or philosophy that the actual mended piece of pottery with the gold is more beautiful than the original piece, meaning that it's okay that it broke. We still have the power to make something beautiful out of it. And I guess it goes back to our sense of our inherent power of transmuting things, no? So in my case, it took me a long time once I came back to my childhood home to process loss, the loss of my father's, and then to really confront where it all began. So I realized that I struggled with depression most of my life, no? And I really confronted the issues and the very early catalysts or influencing forces right here in my childhood home. And I processed it not by pointing fingers, not blaming my parents or blaming anything or anyone, not even me, but really accepting what happened and taking my power back and looking at myself almost like a piece of kintsugi, and deciding, well, things broke. I broke in the past, but I have the power to make something beautiful out of it and maybe even more meaningful, and not hide the brokenness, but I guess like an alchemist, no, infuse my magic and, let's say, make gold out of lead, or take the broken pot and infuse my gold and create something new and meaningful out of it. So we have this inherent power to look at our lives and accept and process loss, trauma, tragedy in such a way that it has new meaning for us, and in such a way that it can even not only give meaning to our lives, but show others that it's possible, not only possible to transmute and transform pain and loss, but that it has its place in our lives, and that it has its place and purpose in our own journey and transformation to become better, or not better, but maybe deeper or more whole human beings, you know? It's not all roses and bubblegum. Right. And another thing that this sense of tragedy, or the quote of about tragedy made me think of, was regret, no? So it's not so much that the sad thing is not what happened to us, but the fact that we cannot transmute it or cannot repair maybe what was broken. So this also applies to relationships, no? I remember I had once the realization of, oh my God, you know, while my dad was still alive, that he would pass away one of these days. And I had this realization while I was on holiday with my dad, and it just struck me so profoundly that I was crying my eyes out, and I thought, I have to tell him that I love him, because you just never know what happens. So I went up to him, crying, and he was all like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Well, nothing really, but this thought just occurred to me that you're not going to be here forever, that you're going to be gone one day. And I just want to let you know that as long as you exist, I want to let you know that I really appreciate everything you've done for us." And I told him right there in to his face. And I guess he was startled and confused, but he took it well, and he thanked me also. And a friend of mine also said, "Wow, Melanie, he was lucky, because sometimes we run out of time to tell the people that who we care for that we love them, and then we regret it later on. We regret not having mended our disputes with them, or our quarrels or petty grievances. So it's links back to my initial video of Memento Mori. Having the consciousness or awareness that we're not, although we are eternal beings, we're not here in this human body or existence forever, that there is a bit of a time ticking, and that it's good to appreciate the people around us, our relationships, and to not fall into this pitfall of regret, of not having mended things in time while there was still time. Because running out of that possibility or opportunity, I guess that is a form of tragedy. And with this, oh, I'll do a sequel. I'll do a sequel because it's getting too long. So with this, I hope that we're all able to look at our personal experience with loss and tragedy and trauma and pain, and find meaning in it, and remind ourselves. I hope we're able to remember that we have the power to rewrite the story. We have the opportunity to mend things and accept things that are broken, but still that we're able to make something beautiful out of it if we seize that power, and if we seize the opportunity while we still can, to show our appreciation to anyone who deserves it, and not wallow in regret later on, because that would be a form of tragedy. On this note, I'm happy to have had you here, and I wish you a wonderful day. I'm going to do a little sequel on this, so it won't be too long. And sending you lots of love. Thank you for watching Mel's Magic. Please like, share, and subscribe if anything resonates with you. And I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Ciao, besos.